Hey guys, I just wanted to get on here for a minute and thank you first off for making DocPen so successful in our early launch. We just started this in June, and many of you have bought pens from us, especially at our local events. We've sold several online too, but our local events have been amazing. And so, but I also know that many of you, the overwhelming majority of you, this is the first time that you have ever purchased a fountain pen. And so I do a tutorial at my table, as you know, for every person that purchases locally from me. Website, I can't do that as easily, but at any rate, I also know that that first time that you're going to ink your pen yourself, it can be a little intimidating. You don't want to mess something up and all that. So the tutorial sometimes that I do in person, you forget it by the time you get home. So I wanted to do this short video to show you again how to go about inking your pen safely and doing it in a way hopefully that keeps your fingers clean as much as possible. And so I'm going to flip the camera around here and I'm going to show you the process that I go through so that you can refer back to this. This is going to go both on my Facebook page and on my YouTube page. So you can always go back and refer to it. So give me just a minute here and I'm going to switch the camera around. All right, here we go. If you do it this way, I believe that you will be able to have your pens inked without getting ink all over you. Of course, as soon as I say that, I'll end up making a mistake. But today I'm going to load Andurilium Flying Squid Blue into this beautiful pen that was made for DocPens. This is a beautiful handmade pen. This one is called Cave. If you look up on our website, we have Cave and Sky. This one is Cave. And so I've been carrying this one around, and I've cleaned it several times, and I re-ink it and use this as a demo, and it's just a beautiful pen, and eventually somebody will ask for it and I will professionally clean it and it will be available. So but I'm going to show you how to go about cleaning it. This one twists to pull off the cap, and so then I'm also going to most of these will twist out. There are a couple of the older pins that you have to, this is done by tension, it's not screwed in. And so you actually have to do a lot of finagling to get this section out. But the newer pins pretty much all screw in, just makes it a lot more convenient. And then here is the converter for the ink. And so remember this from the tutorial, this is like a syringe. So you can see I can move the ends. Some of these, especially the Chinese pens, will have, instead of a twist down here, it will have a plunger that you push up and down. But they both operate basically the same way. So you can see that plunger is moving. So I'm going to take it all the way down, okay? And then I'm going to place this in my Andurilium ink. I'm going to kind of do it from an angle so you can kind of see what's going on here. I'm going to put the nib all the way under the ink, and I'm going to just twist, and you'll start to see, if I have the nib all the way in the ink, you'll start to see the ink pull. But you notice that there's air here. You may want that. I tell you when you want that. If you change inks a lot and you don't care about filling your pen up completely, you could leave it. I don't. I like to have my pen completely filled. So once I get it about halfway, I'm going to push it back down into the jar, and I'm going to do it again, and you'll notice that there's a lot less air. And I'm going to do it again. This time I'm just going to completely submiss it straight and pull it up. So once I have this done, then you just kind of gently let the excess drip off the end of the nib. All right, and then try to put your lid on your jar as quickly as you can, because if you're like me, the chances that you're going to have an accident is a lot, and I may have an accident trying to do this with one hand. I'm going to just leave that for now. All right, and then you take your paper towel, and if you fold it over like this, I fold it over about 4 times, so it's a nice little square, because this ink will bleed through the paper towel. And I'm just going to take the section, which is what the nib goes into, and I'm going to clear off any excess that is on the section. There should not be any ink on the section at all. I mean, there will be after you get it out of the jar, but I mean, when you're done drying this off, you should be able to look and see that there's not any ink on that at all. Okay, because if you have ink on that, it's going to end up on your fingers when you write with it. Okay, and then you'll notice there's ink on the nib, and so I'm going to pull that off. Okay, pull that ink off the nib on the back side of it. Now you don't want to do it on the front side because this is the feed. I might take just a little of the excess that I see because it shouldn't be pooling on the feed. You want it nice and dry like that. But this is actually where the ink comes out in layers under that feed. So you can wipe that all day long and it's going to continue to have ink in it. So just hit so it's not pooling, but it's loaded now. This is ready to go. Somewhere I picked up, probably from the jar itself, just a couple dots there of ink. I will wash that off for sure, but then you just reassemble it. Now the cartridges, if you were to use a cartridge instead of this converter, a couple of you have cartridges that came with your pens. They plug in, but the problem is, so let me just show you this. There is space from the section to the end of the nib, okay? There's space there. And you plug in a cartridge that has ink into here. And so that means there is going to be a delay when you start writing of this far for that ink to travel. So it's not what I would say is primed, because the ink cartridge is right here at the end of the nib, and it's got to get down to here before it will write. So what you're going to want to do is prime that cartridge just by gently squeezing it. I start at the top and just kind of squeeze down. And to be honest with you, I don't have a lot of hand strength, so I do what I shouldn't do. That is, I put the cartridge into my teeth and just gently, a couple gentle squeezes, because I don't have the hand strength to squeeze it. And then that will get the ink flowing down to the nib. But now that I've done that, let me put this lid back on here because I don't want to make a mess. And I am going to just kind of demo write for a second, make sure it's flowing the way it's supposed to. So already, because you are using the bottle, and the bottle is pulling up from the end of the nib in, it's primed. So as soon as you start writing, that ink is ready to go. Whereas if you're using a cartridge, you have to get the ink to the nib before it will start flowing out. But you can see it writes beautifully, and it's a beautiful blue ink. And just love this pen. So that's how you reload your pen. If you have any questions, you can always email me. If you have any problems, you know, occasionally you might have some leakage that's happening, and that may be because this converter is not tight into the nib. We can talk about that if you have any concerns. And then a couple of you have a different pen altogether. You don't have a removable converter. You have a pen, an Azvine pen, that has a crank down here. And so it works the same way. You just don't have to disassemble your pen to get to that. You just pop this right here and twist. It loads the same way otherwise, though. You take the plunger all the way down. You may or may not be able to see it depending on how translucent your pen is. And then you crank it all the way back with the same process I just did in order to fill it. There's one other pen that I have. I've sold one of those, but it has not shipped out yet. It is a vacuum filler pen. It's also an Azvine pen. And instead of a turn, it has a plunger that you pull this out. Then you put it into the ink. You push the plunger, and as soon as it hits the end, it'll click and it'll automatically fill with ink. So that's called a vacuum fill pen. But currently, as of this day here, September 29th, 2025, I have 8 of these vacuum fillers on order, and one of them has been purchased before they have come in. So at any rate, thank you all very much. If you ever have any questions, you can always get a hold of me at Doc Pens at pm.me. That's DocPens at pm.me. Have a great day.